Alright, welcome to a slop video about distros. Okay, distros don't. I personally don't really care about distros. All distros are basically the same thing. Uh, I mean, they're all wearing different. I think the biggest difference between distros are number one, the package manager and the packages available, and the init system, and also stability. All right, so uh, gonna say? Oh yeah, first I'll start with why I switched from Arch to Void, and then I'll discuss why I switched from Bash to ZSH. So because switching from Bash to ZSH, that was the most significant change I made. Uh, all right. So the reason I switched from Arch to Void is because both my laptop and my main computer, sort of like stopped working with at a similar time span. So let's start with the ThinkPad, which is what I'm recording on and where I got Void in. So right now my main computer isn't really working. My main computer is just like a pre-built gaming PC from 2014 with like an upgraded graphics card. It went from from a 760 to a 1070. I actually sold the 760 to a friend, and one day like there was a thunderstorm or something, and then a power surge sort of killed it. Like this is just like 2 weeks after I sold it to him, so that's sucks for him, but whatever. Um, yeah. So as I was saying, the reason I switched was because they sort of stopped working around the same time. So on my T420, I had Artix installed, not Arch, and it was running OpenRC. It was a meme. I used to watch Luke Smith a lot. I was like 16, 15 at the time. Um, so yeah, I had that on my ThinkPad, and the reason I used OpenRC instead of Run It or something else was because Gentoo, because that's what the init system for Gentoo was, and I figured that had better documentation and I wouldn't run into as many problems. Which I didn't really have to do much with the init system. I just had to look at the equivalent commands for systemd on the Gentoo part. So yeah, what happened was I updated it, and I'm really bad about updates. I do updates very irregularly. So I updated it when I was out, like on vacation and stuff, and I didn't use it for a few days. When I got back home, I turned it on, like a few days after. Like that's how not often I used it. So I turned it on, and no, actually this was at school, and then internet didn't work, and I didn't need internet at that time, or at the school at that time. It was just like syllabus week, so I didn't really need to do much that I couldn't do on my phone. So yeah, and it didn't really even matter that much because I had bought a Mac back then, because that's when like classes would start that would have software that my ThinkPad just wouldn't really support. Linux wouldn't really support. So yeah, and I think I did make a video using my ThinkPad once. It was the one about yeah, it was a hot reloading video, because that's the one where I was using DWM. And so right now I'm trying to keep my system like minimal, right? As you can see, I already failed. I already had 893 packages. Like I don't remember, like I don't recall installing that much. Maybe it just came with it. Maybe it's just like a bunch of dependencies. Either way, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I still think it's pretty minimal. I'm only using 20 gigabytes. Alright, but the big computer, that was the main thing. That was the weirdest one. So, like I said, I'm really bad about updating stuff, and I hadn't updated it in like months, or maybe weeks or months. I don't recall exactly. And what happens when you don't update for a while is that you can't update anymore. Um, there will be like dependency conflicts, and this is what I don't get about Linux. This is well, I get it, but it annoys me. It's so much when I was using Arch, is that like one application or one program would require one dependency, one library, and then another one would require the same library but a different version. All right, and that's just like that's stupid, because well, it's not stupid that they require different versions, but what is dumb is that you can't have both versions downloaded in your computer. I don't know why. I know Nix OS fixes this, but I'm not using Nix OS, and I know using containers does that. Fixes that like app images or Docker, but I'm not doing that. Maybe app images aren't like, I don't know, they're like executables or something like in Windows. Um, yeah. So what happened was that I did that. I deleted a library that were like some things that were preventing me from updating. Then Pacman required it, and Pacman didn't work. So I had to do some workaround, and eventually I got it to work. Yeah, Pacman worked. Everything got updated. It was running smooth. Next time I rebooted the system, I got a kernel panic, and subconsciously I knew something wrong was gonna happen. I knew things could never be that easy. I knew I couldn't just look it up on Stack Overflow, and Arch wouldn't break. But for people who say, "Oh, the only way to get a to get a what's it called, a blue screen on Linux is if you to download it," it's like, no, kernel panic is a blue screen on Linux. If you got that, you're kind of cooked. But yeah, I repaired it. I got it to work again. But the weirdest thing was that like audio didn't work, YouTube playback didn't work, which doesn't even matter because audio doesn't work. So whatever. And then for some reason my icons are messed up. But I could still do homework and turn stuff in on my computer, which is what I mainly used it for anyway. So like it didn't really affect me as much as I thought it would. Um, yeah, I tried to reinstall Arch and stuff in the computer, but no matter what distro I choose, it's like the cursor always goes top to the top left corner. I don't know why. You know, I'll ask. I don't really care anymore. I'm just really curious, like why that happens. So, and for both of why, like, why does what, why does it break? Why did it break specifically that way after fixing the kernel panic? But yeah, so why did I choose Void? Well, I didn't want to use systemd again. I found it a little annoying to work with, and run it just seems simple. Like you just have to link, you just have to do like symbolic links into a folder. Like that just feels right. That just feels more Unix like or whatever. Um, yeah. So and the thing is, like it boots up so fast. Whenever I had to boot up my main computer or my uh or, or the laptop when I had Artix installed, like I always would like swivel in my chair or grab stuff, and that just that was just annoying. Well, not annoying, but that I just got used to that. And then now like run it just like boots up so fast, and maybe it's because I don't have like a lot of stuff installed, but yeah, um that's that's one of the things that I really like. Okay, so really the distro doesn't matter. It could be running Arch again, or it could be running Linux Mint. You know what? No, because the main thing I think when you're recommending a distro to somebody, you don't want to recommend a distro to somebody. You want to recommend a desktop environment or a window manager. But if you're recommending a window manager, then either they're already like an advanced user or you're setting them up for failure. Okay, so yeah, so that's the main appeal for that Linux has for me. The window managers, DWM. I like the way DWM is. I have it on vanilla mode right now. I need to change the settings so that the blue outline is thicker. So I'll do that later. But yeah, now ZSH. Why do I use ZSH instead of Bash? Well, the main reason is ZSH has this wonderful little feature where you can go like this, print-z, and that pre-populates your, your prompt. I'm not exactly sure what you would call it. Yeah, but it pre-populates your prompt, and that's something that I really needed to do for what I wanted. People say it has better support for plugins. It has like a better plugin ecosystem or whatever. I don't care about that. I literally only have one plugin installed, and it's the Syntax one. I stole this from Luke Smith's config. I don't have any like I don't have anything like fucking OMyZSH. Like I used to have OMyBash on my main computer. It's like that was stupid. Why does a shell need a package manager? It doesn't. And Tmux was the dumbest one for me. Like, why did I use Tmux package manager or plugin manager or something like that? It was TPM. That was dumb. That was so silly. But yeah, these are the two main scripts that I needed it for. All right. So I'll explain what they do right now because I think it's really cool. So, let's go to, let's list files. Okay. The first one is GFS, or like glob files or something. I don't know if that would be a good, what's it called, a good thing, or like a good name. But yeah, what it does is basically I can do stuff like that. And that's what I need to print.z, because if I don't want, let's say let's say I want to get rid of some, or it doesn't matter. I can just do that. Another one is one that I use. I think, I don't know, I called it plum or plumbing. It just automatically does this. So I can do, and it gives me a little menu. It gives me the name of the file I chose and the type, directory, and then it gives me an action menu. And right now, let's say I want to open it. Okay. And instead of immediately running the action, which is something I didn't want it to do, it actually does like, I use the print Z and I can actually move it. So if I accidentally press D for delete, I can, it's like a double check, right? It's like, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah. One thing that I think GFS might be more useful for, if you've ever heard of Dragon or Rip Drag, which is one thing, like, it's the functionality they give functionality for terminals that is the only good thing a real file manager does, which is being able to drag files. I want to be able to drag files, otherwise it doesn't work. So, well, it's something that you need. You know how sometimes you gotta, how to drag files, right? If you don't, I can just switch. Yeah, and then when you drag stuff, you need it like that. Right here, I have a patch for ST installed that will give me that. So yeah, what I'm gonna work on, I might make a video on this, is how to drag these files, or I'm gonna make my own version of Dragon, which the reason I'm not just using Dragon is because it like has GTK3 as a dependency, and like I'm not installing a whole, that whole thing, that whole suite, just so I can be able to drag and drop files. Maybe I already have GTK3, who knows. Either way, it's a good exercise in learning X11 or Xorg. Even though people are like, "Oh my God, Xorg is dead. You gotta use Wayland now." I don't care, man. DWM isn't in Wayland. I know there's DWL. I'm not trying that. I don't care. I already have my thing set up, even though it's just basically the default. Yeah, I'd rather just live in the terminal. Like, what do I care about the compositor, or I forgot exactly what it's called, the Windows system, the windowing system. So yeah, X11 will be fine for me. I don't plan on switching to anything anytime soon. But yeah, I think this script is cool. I'm almost done. There are some rare exceptions I need to hash out. One cool thing about the GFS script is just using get with it. So I can do get status, and then I can just do, and then yeah. And so if this was like, oh my God, you need to do that, I can, and then I'll just do get add, except I already have those added. What I do need to add is this to do one. So actually I need to move. I shouldn't have to do on on my MISC or on my scripts, because if I do upload this to my, what's it called, I don't know, to my GitHub. Yeah, why am I being such a spaz today? If I do upload it to my GitHub, I am going to, like, it's just gonna suck, right? Well, no, people shouldn't know what I have on my to do. So I'll just move it here. Okay. See how that was nice? That was nice. I'll also need to, yeah. So sometimes when things look a little too similar, they do stuff like this. Luckily, SB comes before TXT. So yeah, I'll just change this real quick. I should probably end the video by now, but yeah. There you go. Did I put in documents? Yeah. All right. So that's it. If you want these scripts in my so if you want these scripts on my GitHub, like, remind me. I might put them there. So yeah, only if you remind me in the comments. That's the only time I'll do it. I drop something. So yeah. Okay, so the reason I haven't been uploading many videos in a while is because last year was my first year in college, and so right now I'm gonna become a sophomore soon, so I can no longer say, "Oh, I'm a freshman," which is cool. And this semester I'm gonna have pretty light classes, so yeah. I'll literally only have 4 classes, and only three of them go towards my major, because I'm like I don't know, I like to call it prerequisite hell, because I took some advanced classes, and now, like, it's just silly. So yeah, that's it. I think I might do a playlist on calculus, because I do feel a little bit more qualified on how to do that on calculus, on how to sort of teach calculus the way I'd like to teach it. But aside from that, I don't know. I recommend any ideas, anything you would want me to do. Yeah, that's it.